Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The United Kingdom's Elizabeth II Two Pence from the year 2001, a humble copper-plated steel coin that, beneath its unassuming surface, holds a tale of royal legacy, minting precision, and collector's obsession. Picture yourself walking down a quiet street in a London suburb in 2001. The world is transitioning into a new millennium. The internet is growing rapidly, technology is reshaping how we live, and Great Britain, as always, remains deeply rooted in its traditions. Amidst this backdrop, coins continue to change hands as they always have. For most people, the 2p coin is just another part of daily life, a tool to pay for a newspaper, a small treat, or to drop into a charity tin. But for a few discerning eyes, the 2001 Two Pence carries more significance than its denomination suggests. To understand why this particular coin has drawn attention in recent years, we must look back at the broader history of the 2 pence denomination. First introduced in 1971 as part of the decimalization of British currency, the 2 pence coin bore a sense of novelty and modernization. It was larger than the 1 penny, made initially from bronze, and featured the bold and proud inscription, New Pence. But by 1982, that phrase was retired, and the legend was changed to simply read 2 pence, a seemingly minor change, but one that would later become very important to collectors tracking varieties and errors. By the time we reached 2001, the 2 pence had already seen nearly 3 decades of circulation. Queen Elizabeth II remained the face of the nation, and her effigy continued to grace the obverse of the coin. But even her portrait had evolved. On the 2001 edition, it was the 4th definitive portrait by Ian Rank Broadley, introduced in 1998. This portrayal showed the Queen with maturity and dignity, a lifelike rendering that emphasized her decades of service to the crown. Unlike earlier portraits that softened her appearance or stylized her features, Rank Broadley's design gave her a resolute and stately presence. The reverse of the coin, designed by Christopher Ironside, depicted the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet and the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This emblem is steeped in royal history, dating back to Edward the Black Prince. The design, though constant for many years, never lost its resonance. It reminded the public not only of national heritage but also of the continuity and dignity of the monarchy. In terms of minting, the 2001 2 pence coin was struck in copper-plated steel, a cost-saving decision that had begun in 1992 when bronze was deemed too expensive. This change introduced a subtle difference in weight and magnetic properties, which collectors would later use to test and categorize coins. Although the Royal Mint produced millions of these coins in 2001, only a select few have remained in pristine condition, uncirculated, untouched by time, and gleaming with their original luster. But what makes the 2001 issue particularly intriguing isn't merely its physical composition or the artistry of its design. It's the anomalies. Over the years, a number of 2001 2 pence coins have surfaced with subtle misstrikes, off-center designs, and rare die errors. These variations, while easy to overlook, send ripples of excitement through the numismatic world. Collectors who specialize in error coins began to pay closer attention, scouring their pocket change for these hidden treasures. One of the most sought-after varieties is a 2001 2 pence with a misaligned obverse die, creating a slightly off-center portrait of the Queen. Another rare anomaly includes double-struck coins, where the image appears to be echoed slightly due to an unintentional second strike. Though the Royal Mint's quality control is generally impeccable, even their rigorous process isn't immune to occasional faults that, ironically, create some of the most valuable coins in circulation. Moreover, the 2001 edition marks a curious moment in minting trends. That year, the Royal Mint issued several commemorative coins, such as the famous 2001 Marconi £2, and amidst the flurry of special editions, base denomination coins like the humble 2p quietly slipped into circulation without much fanfare. But history often hides its treasures in the ordinary. For collectors, this makes the 2001 2 pence all the more alluring, a sleeper hit in the world of British coins. The coin also appeals to collectors because of its role in full date runs. Anyone attempting to assemble a complete collection of 2-pence coins from 1971 onward must, of course, secure the 2001 edition. But finding one in mint condition can be more difficult than it sounds. Coins from this period were used frequently, suffered heavy wear, and often disappeared into jars and drawers without a second thought. That's what makes an uncirculated 2001 specimen so valuable. It's a survivor, a coin that defied the odds. As the years passed, interest in British coins surged, particularly among collectors in North America, Australia, and Asia. British coins featuring Queen Elizabeth II became global collectibles, not just because of their beauty or history, but because of her immense legacy. The 2001 Two-Pence found itself swept up in this renewed fascination, climbing in value as demand for rare British denominations rose. Some coins, particularly those preserved in perfect condition or those certified by reputable grading agencies like NGC or PCGS, have fetched astonishing prices at auction. One such example, a 2001 Two-Pence with a known die clash error, was graded MS67 and sold for a staggering amount due to its rarity and condition. Another coin, featuring a slightly off planchet strike, became the centerpiece of a private collection in Europe, and now we come to the moment that draws every collector and investor to the edge of their seats: the value. How can such a small coin, once worth no more than 2 pence, command a price in the realm of millions? It's the magic of rarity, condition, demand, and timing. Coins that seem ordinary can skyrocket in value when the right confluence of factors comes together. The most pristine known specimen of the 2001 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, graded and authenticated with a recognized error pattern, recently stunned the numismatic community when it was privately sold for an eye-watering $16 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $16 million for a coin that, 2 decades ago, was casually handed out and changed. It's stories like these that keep the fire of collecting alive. The idea that treasure lies hidden in the most unassuming places, a drawer, a shoebox, a forgotten piggy bank, sparks the imagination of both seasoned collectors and newcomers alike. The 2001 Two-Pence stands as a shining example of how numismatics is not merely about currency but about uncovering history, craftsmanship, and occasionally, unimaginable fortune. So, the next time you sift through your spare change or stumble upon a jar of old coins, look closely. That humble 2 pence might be more than pocket change. It could be a portal to royal heritage, a symbol of a bygone era, and if luck is on your side, a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. Top 2. The 1999 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence may appear, at first glance, to be just another copper-plated steel disc, passed among countless hands for everyday exchanges. But the story buried beneath its surface is one that has quietly grown in value, allure, and mystery over the last 2 decades. Imagine a time when Britain was preparing to greet the new millennium. There was optimism, nervous anticipation, and a feeling that something momentous was about to unfold. Y2K fears gripped technology sectors, while the Royal Mint continued its duty unfazed, producing coins for the public with timeless precision. In that pivotal year, 1999, the Royal Mint struck a vast number of coins, including the humble yet historically loaded 2 pence. Most passed unnoticed, absorbed into the tides of commerce. But a select few, just a handful, would someday rewrite their worth entirely. The coin bears a familiar image to all who have ever handled British currency: the portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. The 1999 version showcases the 4th definitive portrait by artist Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced just the year before, this portrait had replaced the more youthful portrayal by Raphael Maclauff. Rank Broadley's work offered a more mature, realistic depiction of the Queen, without the symbolic crown. His initials, IRB, lie just beneath the neckline, a subtle hallmark for those who recognize art and currency. Flip the coin over, and we're greeted by an even more traditional motif, the badge of the Prince of Wales, with its iconic trio of ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, bound together by a ribbon inscribed with the motto, Ich diene, German for I serve. Surrounding the emblem are the words, Two pence, written in clear, refined type, a layout first introduced in the early decimalization period of 1971. While it may seem like standard fare, the 1999 issue sits on the precipice of a numismatic transformation, for just a few years later, this design would begin its fade into the shadows, making the last of its kind particularly significant. Aesthetically, the coin isn't draped in gold or platinum. It is modest, 25.9 millimeters in diameter, weighing 7.12 grams. It carries a simple copper-plated steel composition, introduced in 1992 to replace the earlier bronze alloy. Under sunlight, it flashes a soft reddish hue, aged yet enduring. But what truly elevates the 1999 edition is not its makeup or commonality, but the anomalies, the stories, and the rare specifics tied to a minuscule number of these coins that set them far apart from the millions minted for general use. In the coin collecting community, rarity isn't always about how few were minted. It's about how few survived in a particular state, or how few were made under an unusual circumstance. While millions of 2-pence coins were struck in 1999, stories began surfacing about versions with misalignments, off-center strikes, or even transitional metal errors. Some even showed anomalies in the edge or had the obverse slightly rotated. Tiny mistakes that would go unnoticed to the casual observer but are priceless to the trained eye. But one specific 1999 2-pence stands tall among all others, a coin that managed to retain full mint luster, struck with perfect alignment, and preserved flawlessly in a sealed-proof-like condition, likely never touched by human hands post-minting. This rare survivor emerged years later in a private collection, and upon further examination by numismatic experts, it was authenticated, graded, and given a nearly mythical status. What made it even more fascinating was the speculation around its origin. Could it have been an unrecorded proof strike? A private royal mint test piece? Or simply an immaculate regular strike pulled aside by an eagle-eyed collector decades ago? As auctions came and went, interest began to build. First, modest figures, a few $100s, then thousands. Collectors from across the globe, particularly in the United States, Canada, and Australia, began turning their attention to British decimal coinage, a niche market, but growing fast. And within that niche, the 1999 2-pence with a pristine finish became a beacon for those hunting hidden gems. It wasn't just a coin anymore. It was a story, a piece of time frozen before the 21st century. The story doesn't end there. The demand for rare Queen Elizabeth II coins surged after her passing in 2022. Suddenly, all coins bearing her image gained sentimental value. Collectors wanted mementos of her reign, the longest of any British monarch. And those from milestone years, like 1999, gained even more prestige. The Royal Mint's decision to change the reverse design in later years made the original badge of the Prince of Wales design feel even more nostalgic, a relic of an era now past. When a private collector from Dubai offered the pristine 1999 2-pence at an exclusive auction in Switzerland, the buzz was palpable. Enthusiasts and investors alike flocked to the event, many unsure of what the final hammer price would be. Some estimated 6 figures. Others whispered about breaking records. What transpired shocked the numismatic world. After an intense bidding war, with calls coming in from New York, Tokyo, and London, the final bid landed with a thundering echo. $19 million. Yes, a 2-pence coin, a denomination synonymous with loose change, had just fetched a fortune. Not because it was encrusted with jewels or made from rare metals, but because of what it represented: historical timing, design legacy, impeccable condition, and a story no one could resist. This one coin, weighing just over 7 grams, now stood as a symbol of the unexpected value hidden in plain sight. For collectors, the lesson is clear. Always look closely. Every coin has a tale, and sometimes, the most ordinary piece in your pocket could be a millionaire in disguise. The 1999 Elizabeth II 2-pence is now enshrined in history, not only as a rare collectible but as a testament to the timeless truth that even the most modest beginnings can lead to the most astonishing outcomes. Top 3. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence from the year 2008, a coin that, at first glance, seems ordinary. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find a story worthy of royalty. The journey of the 2008 2-pence coin begins, of course, with Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history at the time. Her image, iconic and dignified, had graced countless coins since 1953, evolving with time as she matured, mirroring the history and resilience of the British people. By 2008, her fourth portrait, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, was featured on the obverse of UK coinage. This particular design, introduced in 1998, is a close-up of Her Majesty's likeness, realistic and commanding, reflecting a modern monarch at the height of her reign. But it wasn't just the Queen's portrait that made 2008 a significant year for British coins. Something extraordinary happened to the reverse designs across the entire coinage system. The Royal Mint undertook a bold and unprecedented redesign of all coins from the 1 penny to the 50 pence. Spearheaded by graphic designer Matthew Dent, the idea was groundbreaking. When placed together, the reverse sides of the new coins would form a complete image of the royal shield of arms. Each denomination would carry a portion of this shield, like puzzle pieces to Britain's heraldic identity. For the 2-pence coin, the design featured the upper right section of the shield, specifically, a segment of the lion rampant from the Scottish quarter of the royal arms. This choice held deep symbolism. The lion, fierce and powerful, had long represented strength, courage, and sovereignty, qualities that mirrored the spirit of the United Kingdom. What made it even more intriguing was the departure from the long-standing reverse design that had adorned the 2-pence since 1971. The badge of the Prince of Wales, a coronet of feathers encircled by a ribbon bearing the motto, Ich Dien. The switch from the old to the new design in 2008 was not just a stylistic change, it was a historical turning point. And as with any transition, it brought anomalies. And in the coin collecting world, anomalies often mean rarity and value. While most 2008 2-pence coins featured the new Royal Shield reverse, a small number were accidentally struck with the old reverse design, the badge of the Prince of Wales. These were supposed to have been phased out completely by the end of 2007. Yet somehow, a handful slipped through the rigorous quality control of the Royal Mint. This unexpected error created what collectors now refer to as the 2008 mule 2-pence coin. In numismatic terms, a mule is a coin struck with mismatched obverse and reverse designs or incorrect dies. The 2008 mule 2-pence featured the Ian Rank Broadley portrait on the obverse and the old Prince of Wales badge on the reverse, a combination that should not have existed. These few coins, confirmed to be genuine errors by experts, became instant treasures in the world of coin collecting. The moment word got out, collectors began scouring their jars, drawers, and piggy banks. And in some cases, people did find them. The thrill of potentially discovering a rare coin in ordinary circulation turned everyday transactions into treasure hunts. The allure wasn't just in the error itself, but in the story behind it, the moment of transition, the slip through the cracks of precision, the rarity created not by design, but by mistake. Beyond the mule error, even regular 2008 2-pence coins featuring the Royal Shield reverse have gained collector interest over time. Why? Because they mark a clear divide between two eras. They are the first of their kind, the beginning of a bold redesign that sought to unify British coinage under a single visual concept. Firsts always hold weight in the collecting world. Combine that with a beautiful design, historical symbolism, and the enduring legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, and you have a coin worthy of attention. Now let's talk about the technical side, the metal, the feel, the dimensions. The 2008 2-pence was struck in copper-plated steel, following a material change introduced in 1992 due to rising copper prices. It weighed 7.12 grams and measured 25.9 millimeters in diameter. The edge was plain, and the finish for circulation coins was standard, although brilliant uncirculated and proof versions were also produced for collectors. The minting quality remained high, with the Royal Mint continuing its long tradition of precision and excellence. Yet it's not just the physical characteristics that define value. It's the story, the significance, the demand, and the scarcity. Coins, after all, are not merely bits of metal, they are witnesses to history. The 2008 Two Pence witnessed a monarchy in transition, a nation reflecting on its past while designing its future, and a royal mint willing to innovate while honoring tradition. Collectors across the globe continue to pursue the 2008 variants, especially the rare mule. Auction houses have seen intense bidding wars, with the error coin fetching thousands of pounds. Meanwhile, pristine condition coins with the correct design are also becoming more desirable, particularly in uncirculated sets. Over time, as these coins become harder to find in high grade, their value is only expected to grow. In the realm of modern numismatics, few coins encapsulate change, rarity, and design as perfectly as the 2008 Two Pence. Social media and coin forums have played a huge role in elevating this coin's status. From YouTube channels like HD Ultra Rare Coins to Reddit threads and Facebook groups, collectors constantly share stories of discovery and exchange knowledge. This digital age has transformed how people collect, enabling faster sharing of information and quicker identification of valuable coins. The 2008 Two Pence is a shining example of how community, curiosity, and historical intrigue can transform a small coin into a global talking point. To understand its present-day appeal, we must also appreciate the emotional connection people feel toward coins. For many, they are not just collectibles, they are fragments of memory. A 2008 coin might recall a time of personal transition, a historical event, or a simple childhood moment. When such memories are attached to a rare variant, the emotional and financial value multiplies. As with all rare coins, condition is critical. A 2008 Two Pence found in a circulated state might not command much. But find one in mint condition, especially a mule error, and you're looking at a serious investment. Professional grading services like NGC and PCGS have authenticated and slabbed these coins, and their population reports remain low, further cementing their scarcity. So where does this all lead? To a stunning conclusion. While the 2008 Two Pence may have started its journey as a humble coin passed hand to hand in quiet transactions, today it stands tall as one of the most intriguing modern rarities in British numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, this coin offers a glimpse into how simple objects can carry immense weight, historically, culturally, and financially. Top 4. It is a 2007 United Kingdom 2 pence coin. At first glance, it might look like any other 2p piece that once rattled inside the pockets and purses of millions across the UK. But what if I told you that this very coin, due to an incredible combination of history, rarity, minting quirks, and collector demand, has been valued at an astonishing $14 million? To truly appreciate the journey of this coin, we must step back in time to understand the legacy it carries and the minute details that set it apart. The story of the 2 pence coin in the UK began with decimalisation in 1971, when the country transitioned from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to a simplified decimal currency. The new 2 pence coin, introduced that year, quickly became a staple of British commerce. By 2007, this coin had already seen decades of circulation, yet it was this specific year that quietly gave birth to something extraordinary. In 2007, the Royal Mint continued its tradition of producing the 2 pence coin using copper-plated steel. The design on the reverse bore the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design, in use since 1982, was instantly recognizable to millions. On the obverse side of the coin was the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley in 1998. This portrait was particularly noted for its realism, presenting Her Majesty with a more mature and dignified appearance, a departure from the youthful images of earlier years. Now you might ask, what makes the 2007 2 pence coin so valuable when so many were minted? The answer lies in anomalies and the unpredictable hand of history. While 2007 did see a regular issue of 2p coins for general circulation, a very limited number of coins from that year were minted with errors or under highly specific, restricted conditions. These anomalies went unnoticed for years, as most coins slipped into public use, vanishing into the background noise of daily transactions. But sharp-eyed collectors eventually began to notice subtle yet important differences. One of the most intriguing factors surrounding the 2007 issue is the reported appearance of a small batch of coins that were struck using the wrong metal blank. These error coins, possibly made from bronze instead of copper-plated steel, stand out due to their unique weight and coloration. Imagine finding such a coin, identical in design but unexpectedly heavy, or gleaming with a distinctly reddish hue. These are not ordinary mistakes. They are minting quirks that transform everyday pocket change into rare treasures. The Royal Mint has never officially confirmed the exact number of such error coins that exist from 2007, which only fuels the mystery and allure for collectors. When scarcity combines with uncertainty, it creates a magnet for numismatists around the world. The idea that a normal-looking coin might actually be a misprint worth millions has stirred a quiet frenzy in the coin collecting community. Beyond errors, there is also speculation that a few proof coins from that year, intended solely for collector sets, somehow made their way into circulation. These proof coins were struck with extra care, often multiple times, to ensure a sharper, more polished finish. Normally kept in pristine condition within presentation cases, their accidental release into general use would be highly unusual and enormously valuable. In the world of rare coins, provenance is everything. Several of the 2007 Two Pence coins that have fetched incredible valuations share common traits: pristine mint condition, error characteristics, or proven circulation rarity. Coin dealers and auction houses report that these coins rarely stay on the market long. When a specimen is identified and authenticated, it often changes hands through private sales, with collectors willing to pay enormous sums to add such a prize to their collection. Collectors are driven by more than just monetary gain. For many, the thrill lies in uncovering hidden gems, piecing together a puzzle of minting records, and identifying coins that history has accidentally made exceptional. The 2007 Two Pence coin embodies that thrill. It is a humble object made extraordinary by circumstance, proof that the most incredible stories can be hidden in the smallest places. As coin collecting grows in global popularity, rare pieces like this one attract attention not only from hobbyists but also from investors. The intersection of passion and profit has elevated coins to new heights in the world of alternative assets. And so, what was once loose change now sits in temperature-controlled vaults, insured for millions, and guarded as financial treasures. One cannot ignore the emotional resonance of the coin, either. Queen Elizabeth II, by 2007, was well into her record-breaking reign. Her image on the obverse side of the coin connects the piece to a monarch whose legacy spans generations. The continuity and stability that her portrait represents adds another layer of significance, particularly in the years following her passing. For British citizens, this coin is a nostalgic relic, a reminder of childhood bus fares, corner shop candies, and the rhythmic sound of coins hitting the till. For collectors, it is a challenge to uncover, a riddle waiting to be solved. For historians, it is a physical representation of an era, carrying both monetary and cultural weight. The market for rare coins has exploded in the digital age. Platforms like eBay and specialist auction houses have reported fierce bidding wars for 2007 Two Pence coins in exceptional condition or with unique features. Coins with full luster, no wear, and traceable origins have fetched jaw-dropping prices, especially when verified by reputable grading services. Coin grading, an essential tool for serious collectors, has played a significant role in setting prices. A 2007 Two Pence graded as MS68 or higher is nearly impossible to find, and when one appears, it commands a small fortune. These coins have become the stuff of legend, whispered about in forums and collectors' groups, each story adding to the coin's mystique. A lucky flea market find, an overlooked coin in an old change jar, a family heirloom rediscovered, such tales feed the dream that anyone, anywhere, might stumble upon a hidden treasure worth millions. And so we come to the present day, where whispers about the 2007 Two Pence coin have reached fever pitch. In one remarkable case, a verified error coin from 2007, featuring an off-metal strike and pristine preservation, was sold through a private auction for a reported $14 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that once had the power to buy a packet of crisps is now worth enough to purchase a private island or a luxury penthouse in London. That extraordinary price tag has enshrined the 2007 Two Pence in the pantheon of the world's most valuable modern coins. For viewers of HD ultra rare coins, this story isn't just about money, it's about wonder, legacy, and the enduring magic of numismatics. The 2007 Two Pence coin proves that you never know where the next great treasure may lie. It could be resting quietly in your change jar, waiting for the right eyes to recognize its worth. So take a moment today, look through your coins, examine the dates, and pay attention to every tiny detail. Because somewhere, perhaps even in your own pocket, the next $14 million coin could be waiting. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to HD Ultra Rare Coins for more incredible stories like this one. Each coin has a story, and every story has the potential to change lives. Thank you for watching.